Bill Gross, the LAProbate expert. Patricia Castillo. Say hi, Patricia.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today.
This is our Wednesday afternoon home buying seminar. We do it every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about all things necessary to buy a home, whether it's your first home or trade. I'm here in Los Angeles, California. We're part of an international company. We work with lenders and vendors all across the country, team members, associate team members in various states. We talk about all things related to a buyer getting their first property. We have a special guest today, but issues. I'm not sure what all that means. But we'll sit by. And then we see other. Caitlin, I see you have audio. Can you hear me?
Yeah, she says she can hear us. I just received her text, but can you talk, Caitlin? Can you say hello so we can just make sure that we can hear you on our side?
Hi, Patricia. How are you? Hi,
hey,
Bill.
Hey,
Sorry
Caitlin.
about that. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you guys very faintly.
Oh wow.
Did you want me to continue?
Well, yeah. As long as you can hear. Let me do this. So let me just kind of tee you up a little bit. So for those who are on the call today, obviously one of the most important parts of buying a property is financing, unless you're paying cash. And even people with the cash usually end up borrowing money to buy the property. One of the most important pieces is having a great relationship with the lender. And Patricia and I have met Caitlin through our team. We're in person with her on Friday. And we asked to invite her on as a guest. Talk about what takes to be successful in buying property today. Caitlin Chen, no video due to difficulties. But audio. Say hi, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Bill. Hi, everyone. I apologize due to technical difficulties. I have no camera video today. However, great to be on, and I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Caitlin with Landmark Mortgage, and I have been in the business for over 15 years, and our company has been in business for over 20 years. And I know right now the market, you probably hear it on the news all the time, the market is tough, rates are going up, but there's really, no better time to buy a home than it is now. Historically, back in 1985, the rates were about 11%. So our rates are still pretty low right now. And of course, whether you're an investor or a first-time home buyer.
Oops, hold on. I said the wrong. Caitlin, I muted you by accident. I'm sorry. Caitlin, I don't know if you hear me, but you're muted. Somebody else made some noise. I hit the wrong little button.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, technical difficulties today. Having fun. So, Caitlin, I don't know if you can hear her. If you can text her, get her back on track.
Yeah, I just sent her a message.
So our guest is Caitlin. She's with Landmark Mortgage. And as I said, this event that we had at our real estate agent professional gathering on Friday of top real estate agents and real estate agents better and so do things better. And so if you're interested, CaitlinChen.com is the website. So for a buyer, I think it's really important that you first stop once you decide property, whether you think you can buy it or not. Your first stop. Oh, there you are, Caitlin. How you doing? You're back. No. So what I want to say is,
Bill, I apologize. Are you talking?
I am, but I want to bring you back. I think I want to bring
you
back.
Okay, sorry.
I accidentally muted you. Explain who you are, how to reach you. So Caitlin, just real quick. Share with us. I know you've been around for a while. Tell me about first-time buyers. What's the biggest fear or challenge they have, and what do you do to help them with that?
Their biggest fear for first-time home buyers is, can I afford a home? And there's really nothing to be afraid of. I'm an advisor. Basically, you can call me. We'll go over what it is, your income, what you want. What we look at is your credit, your income, and what your goals are. We want to figure out what your goals are before we get into getting you qualified. And the most important thing really is not, it's about what you're comfortable with, right? How much rent you're paying, and then how much you're comfortable paying for the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's what we're advisors.
Okay. I do want to everybody the call to. I do want to everybody the call to actually. If you have questions, feel free to type in the chat box. Either type in the chat box, or in Zoom raise your hand. Or if you're brave, just jump in yourself and jump in family style. It's meant to be participative. It's meant to be participative. So Caitlin, when somebody is afraid though to buy that first house, they don't know what for, and they contact you. What's it cost? What's it find out? To find out financially, and how much work is involved to get to that point.
Oh, there's no cost at all. It's absolutely free. Just give me a call and we'll go over it. We'll discuss what your goals are. And the good thing is once I get you approved, you guys have a great team behind you with Patricia and Bill. And that's the value of having the experienced realtors being in the business for a long time. You don't have to figure things out. They will guide you as well once we get you approved. So it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. I answer my cell phone Monday through Sunday. You can call me on Saturday and Sunday too, and we can discuss. I look forward to speaking with you guys.
So Caitlin, imagine I'm a first-time buyer and I don't know what I can afford, a certain amount, or what the payments will be. How much work is involved? Let's say I give you an appointment on the phone. You set an appointment on the phone. We meet in person. And how much work is it going to take for me to find out whether or not I can buy a house now? And if I can, how much I can afford?
Yeah, so it's really not that much work. So the first time we talk, what I can do is, if you're ready, we can talk about your credit and things like that. And once you're ready, I can take an application, right? Once I take the application, what you'll need to do is email me some documents. For example, your last 2 paycheck stubs, if you're a W-2 employee, last 2 W-2s, 2021 now and 2020, and also a couple of bank statements, all pages of your bank statements, just to make sure that you do have the funds for the closing statement and or the deposit. However, we do have down payment assistance where you can get 100% financing.
Well, that's the question actually. Raina asked. Raina, I can ask it for you. Which is there a specific dollar amount or a percentage of down payment that should have in hand before they start shopping for houses?
Yes. Hi. Sorry. It's just kind of loud out here.
No problem.
Did want to know if there's a specific dollar amount, because I have clients ask me, how much should I have? How much do I need to save? Or is there a program that, helps me out? And I really don't know that answer.
Yeah.
Yes, great question. Well, I would say you should probably have about $6,000, maybe towards closing costs. We can work for the down payment. You don't need anything for down payment. We can do 100% financing depending on what your income is. And right now we have a program. If you make anywhere up to $135,000 a year, you can actually get 100% financing. And the other, it's really a strategic way. It's about structuring the loan. Even if you don't have about 6,000, maybe what we can do is if you get a higher interest rate, the lender will help you with the closing costs. We have that as well. But just to be safe, I would say about 6,000 to 7,000 for closing costs, because we don't want to charge you too high of an interest rate. That way it'll affect your debt to income ratio.
Okay. Thank you. But the amount of the home doesn't matter. Like, let's say I tell them, just try to have like $6,000-7,000 in hand, and the home is like in the 800s range. Just an example.
Well, it does. It depends on how much they make, right? How much their income is. If their income is higher, then maybe they can qualify for a higher loan amount. Because how we calculate it is we have to calculate the principal, interest, and the taxes, right? and the insurance. And if it's a condo or a townhome, there's always an association fee.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Feel free to call me anytime. I'll give I can quote it for you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think it's really important that the main thing is you have questions, you have questions, you want to talk to rather than make assumptions. I see Adam has a hand up. Adam, you want to unmute you? You can unmute yourself if you want as well.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, my question to you will be like, you just mentioned that someone who is making over $100,000 yearly has, there's a possibility for those to get 100% finance. They don't need to have a down payment. But what about those who doesn't have, whose income is not as high as $100,000?
No, actually anywhere up to 135,000. You can get 100% financing.
So 135,000 or lower.
Right. If you make 60,000, 70,000, it doesn't matter.
Or lower. Not higher, not higher. 135 or lower. 135 or lower.
Yeah, or lower, right.
I think you got
Okay, thanks for that for the response. But also my second question to you regarding on that matter is like what if for a combination of two income, does that make a difference, or is like either is for one person income or two income combined?
That's a great question. Actually, it doesn't matter whether it's two people qualifying or three people qualifying. For a family of 1 to 4, the maximum income you can make is 135,000 in order for you to qualify for the 100% financing.
Okay, thank you.
So as long as it's a family of 1 to 4, yeah.
And it might say is.
Caitlin, I had a question.
Just to finish up before we go on. And these are great questions. But the key is how it applies to you. It's good to learn about the general rules. But if you have a specific question, you have a pro here. Caitlin, feel free to reach out to her, text her, send a text her, go through your numbers in detail with her. Sometimes there's an answer, but then there's another way you can work around it. We don't show all the wives the other person's income, or there's ways get the income adjusted down. So don't let that be a no. Be a no. The question is what I have to do. Patricia, you had a question. I know. You raised your hand.
I did. So, Caitlin, my question is in reference to the down payment assistance.
Yes.
So I guess it's a two-part question. Is the down payment assistance offered specifically by Landmark Mortgage Capital, or is it? Are you referring to the government assisted down payment program?
Yes, great question, Patricia. It's a government-assisted down payment program.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, instead of coming up, you know how FHA loans, you have to come up with at least 3.5% down, correct?
Right. Correct.
Now, in place of your own down payment, it's a government-assisted program, and it could be a silent second. Silent second means that if you make 36 on-time payments for your first mortgage, they will actually forgive the second after 3 years.
Okay, that was my next question. Is that loan required to be repaid? So it's if they make 36 timely payments, then there's a possibility that it could that portion would be forgiven. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. It will be forgiven as long as you qualify for that program. And you do need a FICO score of about 620.
So when you say credit score, again, if somebody doesn't know the credit score, can they call you and apply and get through you? When does that cost?
No, it doesn't cost them anything. We will run their credit for free. But there are free, like Credit Karma, just to get an idea. Usually, I was told by a marketing person that those credit scores are actually higher than, they really are, mainly because they're private companies and they want as many eyeballs on their website as possible. So they kind of jack up the score a little bit. But when I run it, it goes through a mortgage credit reporting agency. Right. Because I always have a lot of customers that ask me, why is my credit lower with you guys?
So again, rather than get discouraged, if you're out there, you have don't know if your score, don't know if your score, Credit Karma is close. Credit Karma is close. 619. Give Caitlin a call. Set up a time, and then also, she or we can help you connect with a credit company. They can help repair some of these things. They can help repair some of these things. So don't let that get. Don't let them get in the way. Okay. Okay. Is saying that Eric we was echo when I talk. We was echo when I talk. Do you still have an echo when I talk?
I don't hear an echo, Bill.
Apparently on YouTube. I see what that is.
Maybe
I see that on the YouTube. It is. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you, Eric and Romy, for pointing it out. There was I had the volume on the YouTube. I think I just fixed that. So okay, good. Okay. Adam says interesting. Thank you. Good. Any other questions?
So Caitlin, I know when people are thinking about buying a house and then they call you and want to get the process started, what's one thing, or I guess two things, that you would advise, these potential buyers not to do, since they're having their credit checked, they're getting ready to buy a house, and we definitely don't want those ratios to change. So what are things that they should not do in order to, keep the integrity of those numbers the same, and so nothing changes once they've already started the application process?
Yes, great question, Patricia. Just don't run your credit. When you're in the process of buying a home, don't go and buy a car, and don't get a new credit card. You want to wait until you close the loan for your home before you do that, because if you run it again and you buy a car, then your debt to income ratio is going to change, right? It's going to be higher because now you have an extra payment. So what we suggest is, once you start the process, don't use your credit card that much, just keep it the same amount. And I just want to disclose a couple of things that I've noticed a lot of buyers don't know. If you have student loans and it is deferred, okay, they still calculate 1% as your monthly payment. So even though it's been deferred for a year or 2 years and you're not paying anything, the monthly payment will be calculated as 1%.
1% of the balance outstanding, or 1% of what?
Yes, 1% of the balance outstanding. So for example, if it's $10,000, if you have a $10,000 balance on your student loans and it's deferred, the lender will add $100 to your monthly payment. So it's as if you're paying an extra $100 a month, and that will cut into your debt to income ratio. But you don't have to worry about that, Bill. They don't have to worry. Just give me a call. I can do the calculations for them.
Okay.
And another thing is, if they're looking at buying a home in the long run, for example, 6 months or a year from now, the best thing to do, let's just say you have 10 credit cards, right? And don't use all 10. Pay off the smallest balance first, because anytime you have a balance, if you have a balance on all 10 credit cards and there's a minimum payment listed there, whether it's $40, $70, $100, that will cut into your debt to income ratio. However, if you have 10 credit cards and you only have, and you're only using one, and that payment is, let's just say $100, and the rest of the 9 is a zero balance. Well, guess what? The 9, that's not going to cut into your debt to income ratio. It's only that 1. So I find a lot of my borrowers, when I run their credit, they literally can pay off the small balances on their credit card. So I suggest you pay it off first before I run your credit, before you start the home buying process.
Very good. And this is where it goes from just getting a loan to a strategy to get you set up to get the best possible deal. And I think this is why we really urge people, the first step, and Caitlin's not paying us for this, we invited her as our guest, but the reason why we always say the first step is with a lender, so that you can be clear on what you can qualify for and what your plan is. And maybe if you wait a little bit, you qualify for more. We want to get that opportunity for you if that's really the kind of house that you want. So all roads in buying a house, start with, of course, your motivation, your plan, what you want. And then the next step in terms of action is getting with a lender. And so here you have today Caitlin, and she has her phone number on the screen to reach out to her and text her or call her to make that happen. Okay. Any other questions? I don't see anybody else. Anybody else want to raise their hand or put a question in the chat box? I think we're up to date on the YouTube. Thank you for your guys' help on the technical support, Rami and and Eric.
I had one question, Bill, but I like to see if any of our guests have any questions first.
I don't see anything. Feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat box, or just unmute yourself and jump in if you want to.
Yeah, I did have a question.
And just to add.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, so I purchased my home about 2 years ago. We've got equity in the home, but now I need to take out a loan from our in-home loan from the equity. For that, is it required to refinance my whole home? Or can I just be able to take that money out?
Yes, great question. Well, you can take out a home equity line. Okay, a home equity line is where you go to the bank and they give you a line of credit. In a way, if you think about it, it's kind of like a credit card on your house, right? But the thing is, the interest rate is not fixed,
Yes.
which means it's adjustable. It could go up at any time. If you use it, you never know when it's going to go up. So you can get money from your equity in a home equity line. However, it is an adjustable. Now they do have HE loans. HE loans is a second mortgage, but the interest rate is always higher. The best thing to do is probably, just refinance your whole mortgage. It depends really on what the interest rate you have now and what you can tolerate.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? Feel free to give me a call and I can give you advice to see what is best. And I just wanted to let everybody know, when you guys call me or email me, please let me know that you guys were on this call. Okay, just so I know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rita. We got a question from Rami, who's watching on YouTube Live. He's asking, what's the longest rate lock that lenders are providing? Is it 60 days or 90 days? And maybe you can give a little context what that means.
Yes, usually it's a 30-day lock. Okay. The longer the lock, the higher your interest rate. However, it's not a huge difference. It's not going to be like 1%. It may be 0.125 higher if you do a 45-day lock. We have 45-day locks. We have 60-day locks. But usually it's 30 days. Whenever let's just say Bill or Patricia makes an offer for you on a house. Well, usually the seller wants it closed within 30 days. And my track record usually is 21 days. I can get it closed within 21 days. I'm pretty much on it in terms of conditions and all that. But for purchases, we never go over 30 days. However, for refinance, depending on the lender, each lender has their strengths and weaknesses, right? And I kind of know each lender. Some lender take a little longer, so we'll do a 45-day lock, but it really doesn't make any difference. But purchases are usually 30 days.
What if somebody's buying like a new home build where they know it's going to be 60 days or 75 days? Is that something you can, on a special case, get them a rate lock for?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we can get them locked for 60 days.
Yeah, so it's available. So, Rami, I think the answer is, depends on your situation. Talk to Caitlin, get a detailed quote, and she can show you A, 30 days, B, 60, C, 90. I think every lender has the ability to do it, but the difference really gets down to your particular financial situation. So I hope that helps you. Good. Any other questions? There's good questions tonight, guys. Thanks for participating so much.
So I have a question for Caitlin.
Yes.
Okay, so going back to the down payment assistance, because I know a lot of clients are interested in that program.
Yes.
And so is there a requirement to stay on title or stay in the property for a certain amount of time before selling? And the reason I ask is because sometimes buyers are buying their starter home and then they may hold on to the property for a couple of years and then decide they want to upgrade and or move to a different area. And so they leverage the equity from that first home to buy their, their next home. So is there some kind of requirement that requires you to stay in that property without selling for a certain amount of time?
Great question, Patricia. No, there is no requirement to stay in the home for, X amount of months or years. However, keep in mind, remember the silent second, where if you stay in your home and pay 36 on-time payments,
Right.
then you get it forgiven. You get the silent second forgiven. Now, within that 336 months, if you do refinance or buy another home, that means you're paying off that loan.
Sure.
So therefore, yeah, that's the only thing.
Right. Okay, that's great. So after the first 3 years, you can have the silent second forgiven that was originally for your down payment assistance, and then possibly look to sell in another year or two if that's what the buyer wanted to do. So
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
great.
Great.
Mhm.
Other questions? Anybody else see? I don't see any hands up. Put in the chat box, raise your hand, or just unmute and jump in if you want to. I don't see any. Caitlin, I really appreciate. I think you did a great job tonight explaining to us the options.
Well, thank you, Bill. I love those questions. Great questions.
Here's another good one. If you like that one, here's another one from Raina, who's has some great questions tonight. Raina says she's new to real estate. What is a silent second? Great question.
Oh, a silent second is like a second mortgage, right? Usually a traditional FHA where you have to come up with 3.5% down payment on your own. However, if you don't have the 3.5%, then you can get a down payment assistance where the government will help you pay that 3.5% down payment. So in other words, you would be getting 100% down, and that silent second is where you don't have to pay it with your first mortgage. Usually a traditional conventional mortgage, if you get like you can, for example, there's something called 80-10, which is a conventional mortgage. You put 10% down, and then you get a first mortgage of 80% of the purchase of the house. Then you get a 10% second. But then you have to make 2 payments all at once, right? You make 2 payments all the time. The silent second is where the second mortgage, you don't have to make any payments at all. As long as you pay your first mortgage on time for 36 months, you get it forgiven. That's
Nice.
what a silent second is.
Nice.
I know it's a funny term, but.
Raina says she got it, and thank you. I think those of us in the business, I do this all day long, every day. It's all I do. It's my business. And I've done this, for 30 years plus. And so we get used to saying these certain shorthand words to speed things up. But certainly with our customers, Raina, thank you for reminding us we need to slow down a little bit and explain the terms. So good job. And good job explaining, Caitlin. I appreciate that. Okay, every time I ask, anybody have any questions, somebody comes up with a good one. So I'll ask again. Anybody? Oh, here you go. Look at that. Before I even got the words out. So Romy says, he's on the YouTube watching us, which is great. He says that the FTHB Government Down Payment Assistance Program is good until when?
Oh, okay. I'm stumped on that one. FTHB, you know what? I'm going to have to do some research, Bill, and get back. These down payment assistance that I have is called something else.
FTHB is first-time home buyer.
Oh, the first-time home buyer.
So he is saying first-time home buyer program is good until when? And I think the answer is, Romy, there's always first-time home buyer programs.
Yeah, there's
They
always.
vary based on counties and states. There's certain programs for first responders and for heroes and for all kinds of different types. So it just depends on your situation. But there's always been, I've been in this business since 1986, there's always been some sort of program for down payment assistance to help people with first-time home buyers. So, but it depends on your income, where you're buying, what county you're buying in. But definitely feel free to reach out for first-time home buyer programs. Feel free to reach out and get your particular situation clear. Where are you buying, what city, what county, and what's your circumstances, and then Caitlin or Patricia or I can help customize a program for you that will get you the best opportunity.
Absolutely. And Bill, I just wanted to add, there's a misunderstanding sometimes that FHA loans are only for first-time home buyers, right?
Yeah.
And that's not true. You can own a home right now. If you say, I just finished up a loan for a customer where she sold her home and she bought another one and she went FHA on the second home. On home that she just bought. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to get an FHA loan. It just has to be a primary residence, 1 or 2 units.
There you go. And Romy says thank you, and looks like we answered this question. Good job, Caitlin. Thank you for your clarity.
Thank you,
okay.
Bill.
Any other questions? This has been good. You guys had some good ones. This is being recorded, so we'll be able to show this to other buyers as well. And got a bunch of people watching it live too. No other questions? Okay. We usually do this about 30 minutes. We went a little longer today. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us. Really, I appreciate meeting you on Friday. And Patricia said some great things about you, as did Annabelle and one of our other partners. And really, that you delivered. So thank you for presenting tonight. But more importantly, thank you for supporting our business and our team. And we really appreciate you on behalf of our clients.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And it's great to virtually meet everybody.
We do
I'm
this
glad you were
regularly.
able to make it.
Yeah, come back again sometime. And we got your picture on the website, but I know in person you're much more, not just attractive, but you're much more powerful when you meet in person, much more charismatic. So come back again sometime. We can get you live, okay?
Thank you so much. I look forward to meeting everybody in person one day. And make sure you call me, email me, and I will help you out.
Fantastic. Again, Caitlin's number is 213-248-1230, 213-248-1230, or reach out to me or Patricia and we'll get you guys connected up. Mention that you saw her on this call. We appreciate supporting it. We don't charge for this. We just sell houses and help people like you buy houses. So if we can help you, let us know. Patricia, if someone get a hold of you, how would they reach you?
Yeah, so I can be reached on my cell phone at 323-365-9909. That's the best way to reach me.
Great. And I'm Bill Gross, and you can get me on social media at Bill Gross EXP, whether it be Facebook or LinkedIn or my YouTube channel, Bill Gross EXP. Or you can call me or text me 310-210-0008, 310-210-0008. Patricia, this was fun tonight, wasn't it?
It was very nice call. We had a lot of information with Caitlin, and I hope there were some key takeaways for everybody.
Yeah, and those watching on YouTube, sorry for the initial technical difficulties, but it looks like we got it taken care of, and I think we got some good stuff done. So thank you, guys. We do this again every week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you guys next week. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.